What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, this isn't a part two, y'all, but this is a, you can call it a follow-up. I just want to bring some awareness to you guys. Do you guys remember in 2016, Roy Jones fought a fan? And people was really saying things like, man, this is sad. Like, this is disgraceful. Watching Roy Jones coming from what he was to what he's doing now, this is sad. And I remember on a video, I made a comment and I said, boxing should do better than this, because the reason, now how you spend your money and budget your money is not anybody else's fault. But when you see, fighters having situations and they are like going through certain things, man, you should do something to help these people, man. Now, the problem with that is you will have irresponsible people that just, like Adrian Broner, trying to help somebody like him when he doesn't help himself. It's like, why are we responsible for what this man does? And I agree with that. But what I'm saying, take a guy like Adrian, take a guy like Roy. I don't know why Roy, what his financial issues is, why, whatever. I don't know that. Don't know that. But I mean, if you're gonna make videos about people talking about their greatness and whatever, and hey man, give them a chunk of that. Give them a chunk of that. And that way, it's not about, okay, I'm helping this person because they're down and out and they're coming to me. No, it's, hey man, listen, we appreciate what you've done for the sport. Hey man, we make money. We're a big ass company. We're rich. It's not going to hurt us to hey man, let's do a documentary series on this person. Hey man, you help your fighters, help these legends, right? Okay. Anyway, Roy Jones fought this guy Vyron Phillips, and if you don't remember, he fought a fan. And if you can beat me, you get $100,000. Now, I don't know what else was attached to this or whatever. If it was a charity event or whatever. Because if it was a charity event, then it's fishy. Why? Okay, I'm going to pick somebody that I know has no chance. This guy had I think they said he had 5 or 6 amateur fights at one point or something like that. He was an MMA fighter. An MMA fighter. Roy Jones saying that he doesn't do exhibitions. If it ain't the real thing, he ain't no need to do it. Okay, so if this were on Roy Jones's record, you fought a dude that Conor McGregor would have kicked this guy's ass. If you watched it, if you saw the fight, if you didn't, go and watch Roy Jones versus Vyron Phillips. Or just type in Roy Jones fights a fan. And you see, this guy had nothing. By far, Conor McGregor had better technique than this guy. Conor would have flattened this guy. Roy Jones knocked him out in the second. Roy Jones could have easily knocked him out in the first round with the very first punch he threw. This dude overcommitted. I mean, you could see his flaws right from the beginning. It was more than nervousness. You can see this guy had no experience. Now, Roy Jones, when he was asked about the guy says, the interviewer says, how tough was Vyron Phillips? This guy got hot. You know what I'm saying? Very, very determined just to get in it and do this, right? And I'm saying, now, let's just think about it. He gave this guy props and found a way to compliment someone that would have got their ass kicked by Conor. Now, let's just look at it. If you can beat me, you get $100,000. Floyd versus Conor, $300 million. Conor gets $100 million. You see what I'm saying? And here's the thing. Look at Floyd at 47 and look at Roy Jones at 47. No comparison. Just like during their career, Floyd was a better boxer than Roy. He was always a better boxer. Roy was more flashy, more explosive. You know what I'm saying? And Roy was that, like I said, Roy was that guy. But if you break down skill for skill, who does what better? Roy's better than him. I mean, Floyd is better than Roy. And his reflexes, everything. Like Roy was an entertaining guy in ways, and like I said, flash and flare. He was a solid fighter. Roy could fight, and I feel like people don't give Roy enough credit for what he was. But at the same time, let's not play games. Roy Jones, he used what he had properly. Put it like that. What he knew how to do, what he was good at, he used it properly. Roy was one of the greats. But still in all, he did not have the technical skills that Floyd has. He did not have Floyd's thinking brain, man. He wasn't a puzzle solver like Floyd. And when people try to make the James Toney comparison to Floyd, like, man, please. First of all, Floyd was a workhorse in that gym. Whereas one thing that Toney lacked, Toney was lazy as fuck, man. He was flat-footed. He didn't know how to cut off a ring. He just walked in, straight in. You understand what I'm saying? And basically, Toney was good with just rolling it from up top, okay? Toney was, he didn't have the fastest hands. Yeah, he had a quick shot here and there, but James Toney, come on, man, stop it. James Toney wasn't as good as Floyd either. And people are so in their feelings to try to find somebody to say that's better. Y'all find dudes that got fucking 8, 9, 10 losses to say that was better than Floyd, and they lost to people that you're like, who the fuck was that guy that beat him? Who? Yeah, I mean, and let's not get it fucked up. James Toney was a solid fighter, but he had his flaws as well. And the thing is, people compare him to Floyd. Oh man, he was doing it before Floyd. Yeah, because he's older than Floyd. Duh. Floyd's daddy was doing it before both of them. So big deal. That means nothing. The thing that I'm getting at with it is, look, if you're going to say that James Toney, you're trying to say he was better than Floyd, go look at James Toney fights. Okay? He was a good fighter. He was a great fighter. But James Toney wasn't as good as Floyd either. And the only fucking thing you can compare is they both did the shoulder roll. But at the same time, he wasn't no fucking Floyd Mayweather, man. He wasn't. And they said Floyd, people said Toney was more skilled than Roy. I'm like, I don't see him as being more skilled than Roy. I see him as technically being able to do things against certain opponents, where Roy used his hand speed, his reflexes, his movement, his timing. Roy put shit together well. Don't get what I'm saying wrong. But I'm saying Floyd never found a puzzle he couldn't solve. And I watched Michael Nunn was beating the shit out of fucking James Toney. Outboxing him, was up on the scorecards by far. Got tired. What happened was supposed to happen because he fought him the way he did. He got tired, and guess what? James Toney kept coming, kept putting that pressure on him, and basically, he got him out of there. Now, it's funny how people will sit and try to shit on Michael Nunn, but praise James Toney. It's not like he was winning that fight. Now, what's important is the fact that he won. You ain't never seen nobody go in there and just tattoo fucking Floyd Mayweather and Floyd. No. And this is what I'm saying. There was never a rematch, and even still and all, Toney won. So there's no excuses about nothing. But what I'm saying is, for the way people try to, bring up fighters, like I remember a time when Tony went to cruiserweight, Toney kind of disappeared. And I've seen him and Vasily Zhirov have a solid fight. But the problem with Toney is Toney was lazy. He was fat, he was out of shape, and he depended on his skills to get him over. And let's just be real, man. When you lack certain dedications, and then you comparing to a fighter that had no weaknesses, you don't even have a fucking leg to stand on in your claims. Now, at the end of the day, like I said, Roy came before Floyd. I'm not the type of person that if I like a fighter, I'm going to be biased and say something different. No. Looking at both of them, it's like, nah, man, Roy wasn't as good as Floyd. But the fact that he fought Vyron Phillips, and of course Roy would say, I was just trying to help somebody make some money, you know what I'm saying, get by a can. I don't know what they paid him, but I'm pretty sure if the winning purse was $100,000, man, that dude probably, if they paid him anything, probably gave that dude like 10 grand or something like that or whatever. I'm just saying, come on, man. This was no spectacle. This was a fight done on a small scale where, and the event itself, and basically, I remember people was like, damn, this is sad, man. Now, Roy Jones, would have, like I said, his reasoning would be, you know, man, I was just trying to help a fan make some money, trying to help, you know, this, that, or whatever. Like I said, I don't know, because if this was for charity, yeah, that explains the opponent. But if this went on your record, then what? How you gonna respect this going on your record? If it didn't go on your record, then you lying about saying you don't do exhibitions. So you see the point what I'm saying. If a person make claims about another person, but that person doesn't have anything attached to their name, even remotely similar to what they're doing, because they're complaining about it, they're against it, then at least you can say, I think his claims are genuine, like that he really feels what he's saying, even if you don't agree with him. How the hell do you agree with somebody saying they can't respect somebody being 50-0 and it's not being said out of jealousy when they tried to do the same thing and had done the same thing? Because that's what this guy Byron Phillips excelled at. And he wasn't great. He wasn't even really good at MMA. You understand what I'm saying? So he played some high school sports or whatever. Bro, if you're gonna sit here and open your mouth to say you don't respect something, you got to make sure that you're not in that category, like in that same category, no type of way. The most is you can say, hey man, I was in the guy's corner giving him instructions, or I was commentating at ringside. If you was in that ring fighting a guy that, you know, you're saying you can't respect Floyd being 50-0 based on him fighting Conor McGregor, a guy that's not a boxer, and here you go with a guy that has a handful of fights, and all of a sudden you're talking like this dude is, you know, some world beater. And look at it like this: Lomachenko had 2 fights, pro, right, when he fought Gary Russell. But Lomachenko by far was a highly decorated, skillful fighter, and it showed in the ring. So if you didn't know who Lomachenko was before that, the night he fought Gary Russell, you knew, okay, this dude really can fight. This Lomachenko dude can fight, right? So you look at the guy like Madrimov, who these people had to lie. I understood what they was trying to do, and I told you, man, this dude ain't nowhere near as good as no fucking Canelo. I can see with my 2 fucking eyes. And now all of a sudden, let me show you something. What did Terrence Crawford say when Teofimo Lopez was claiming he wanted to fight him? Go fight Madrimov. Go fight him first. Who the fuck uses Canelo Alvarez as a fucking measuring stick? And only idiot Terrence Crawford fans would go for that shit. And listen, I like Crawford as a fighter, but that's bullshit. That dude is nowhere near as good as Canelo. Okay, now, at the end of that, you know, for people who don't use common sense, because critical thinking in this era is like, nah, no need to. If you're going to look at that and say, yeah, but he only got 11 fights. Well, all the fights that he had, you could clearly see regardless that Terrence Crawford was on another level. And this dude shouldn't have been in the ring with Terrence Crawford. Okay? But at the same time, that dude Madrimov was far better than this guy, Byron Phillips. Now, we know Roy was 47, but at 47, Roy was still talking like he was the same old Roy. Roy was still criticizing Floyd for things Floyd was doing. And the thing is, everything Floyd did was on a bigger scale. Even now when he does, you know, exhibitions, he's getting 20 million plus for exhibitions. Roy is not getting even close to that. And this is what I'm saying. You're fighting a fan, bro. So it's like when Clarissa Shields beat that disrespectful woman's ass for talking shit and being disrespectful, popping up to the gym, you know, acting as, you know, like she's punking, and she's like, oh no, I'm gonna show you. You ain't never seen Clarissa duck no smoke though. You see what I'm saying? So how is it that, you know, Roy can fight a fan and all of a sudden feel the need to say anything about Floyd? Like, Roy, look at your own actions. This is what I'm saying. So yeah, man, we all was supportive. For all of us that was supportive of Roy, that never changed at no point. But when Roy fell off, he fell off. Floyd never fell off. And like I said before, it's a jealousy factor. You don't go and do the things that Roy have done and then turn around and open your mouth to say something about somebody who's doing what you want to do, but doing it better than you and on a bigger scale. It's simply jealousy, man. So if you didn't see it, and this is not to shame Roy, this is to bring the truth to the light and awareness. Go watch Roy Jones versus Byron Phillips. Then think about the things he says about Floyd and see if you don't come to the same conclusion I do. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.